It's a crisp night on the Isle. It's quiet and empty, as most of the dinosaurs have gone to their nests or the jungle to sleep. But some dinosaurs use the night to their advantage for hunting. A teenager Albertosaurus. This teenager has just left the nest a month ago and is now wandering in the night to find some food to eat. He is small, but he still needs a meal that he can fulfill on. He could scavenge, but it looks like he's gonna have to hunt for this one.
A young, or fully grown Parasaurolophus seems to be in the fields grazing. It doesn't know that it's going to be hunted and most likely eaten for food. The Albertosaurus starts to stalk the prey. It hadn't done its information or background checks before this, so it does not know what to do. He tries to rush it.
The Parasaurolophus continues grazing, not aware that it's still there. This might be the perfect chance for this teen to strike. As the Para graze, the Albertosaurus goes to make a quick bite, taking a chunk off the Parasaurolophus' neck. The Para runs off, but and looks like the Albertosaurus has made an unsuccessful hunt. He did get a chunk, but it's just a chunk. He gulps it down, slowly chewing to sustain himself. But as he grows older, he's going to have to start focusing on hunting more. He's going to need it.
Some Pachycephalosaurs. One seems to be a male. The male is the smaller one. The female is the bigger of the two. She seems to be comforting, or not even comforting, seems to be rubbing the small male's head.
The small male is almost like a child to the female, but as their mates, they both need to share a role in what they're doing. But it's nighttime, but it looks like they have something special to show. A nest. These eggs were just laid a couple days ago, and the female has been staying with them ever since, while the male goes out grazing. The male also joins to look at their eggs. Usually a Parasaurolophus couple doesn't lay that many eggs, but this couple seems to have laid a dozen or so. The female checks onto her eggs. They're expected to hatch soon, but she tries to get the male away so he doesn't break any of the eggs. But it turns out something is close by, wanting to snag some of the eggs.
A Dromaeosaurus decides that this is the perfect opportunity to strike. He goes behind a branch, making sure he has the perfect position. He waits for the female to walk off.
The female slowly walks away from the eggs to graze.
It's his time to strike. He dashes at the eggs.
He goes and snags an egg quickly. The female comes back, but in horror to see that one of her eggs is missing. She goes and checks on the other eggs. All of them are there. It's just that one. She's not that fazed by it, as it's just one egg, and she still has several others to go. But this is a warning that she should be watchful, as predators can be everywhere. A breeze goes over, as a small grazing herd move by. This is a small herd of the Isle. It's nighttime and they have come to graze on the grass. Okay.
The para seem to be watching. This is the same para that just got attacked a few minutes ago. He nudges another green para. They may be related, they may not. We do not know.
Another one of the paras are sleeping. It's been a long day, and he also was about to get attacked by a carnivore. She had to run and run and run, and is very, very tired. This is one of the medium-sized herds on the Isle. Usually on the Isle, some herds can have hundreds of dinosaurs, sometimes even thousands, but this one only has a couple dozen. Even some tiny mini ankylosaurs are even here. and also some styracosaurs, pachyrhinos, and even a giant Paleosaurus. The Paleosaurus is only the last of its kind, is one of the last. The Paleosaurus is a very rare dinosaur. Usually it should be in the sauropod breeding grounds, but this one has come to join the grazing. It bends down its neck as hard as it can to get on the grass below. As more dinosaurs come in closer to the herd to be a bit safe, as they are still carnivores that are watching them.
The Beckelspinax decides that it is going to hunt these dinosaurs, but it's not the only carnivore here. Something else wants food.
The Beckelspinax spots the berry, and so does the berry. The berry gives a first bite. Both of them make eye contact, and they both stare at each other for a very long time. The baryonyx is getting intimate, scratching at the Beckel, but the Beckel takes slow steps, not trying to start sudden movements that would alert. But as the berry gets more rough and tough, the Beckel makes an unexpected bite on the berry. Wounded, the berry tries again, with the Beckel getting a knock punch. The Beckelspinax starts to get unconscious as the berry hits him rapidly on the head. He starts to fall until one last push and bites the berry on the bottom of the jaw. He doesn't let go. The berry struggles to try to get loose, but soon, as he slowly bites down, the literal blood of the berry is getting lost.
But with one final hope of the berry, he slashes the eye of the Beckelspinax, taking it clean out.
The Beckelspinax now cannot see, is roaming wildly, trying to find the berry. This is the berry's moment to strike. He strikes, but then he stops. He's lost too much blood. At one final breath, he runs.
Stop, Dylan.
But he can't run forever. After one last breath, he falls and dies. A few hours later, it has been completely darkness in the Isle. But the dinosaurs continue on grazing. At nighttime, this is when predators strike the most. As the ankylosaurs mate, and some of the styracosaurs continue grazing, there's something big on the other side of the herd. Croco. The big one, who's Croco's mate, has just left in search of fish, but Croco has to hunt. She goes close to the pachyrhinosaurs. Bull walks over the empty areas of the Isle, looks over his kingdom. The big one comes out of the jungle, also looking around at its area, or the vast kingdom of the Isle. Infrared looks over the big plains, walking several miles over empty grasslands. But there's one thing that's all in common for these three carnivores. They're all in the same place. We're back with the raptor pack. After several months of starting the pack, they have grown to an exponential number. Green just came back from hunting and is currently looking after the eggs, while the others are just going about their daily lives.
Orange seems to be looking around He's taking care. He is doing the babysitting duty, taking care of the younglings, and the others are either nesting, or taking after the nest, or hunting.
Swamp takes a nap. She already had her turn of taking care of the eggs. The thing is, these are actually her eggs now.
And Blue. You might remember Blue. She was who Green wanted to mate with. We do not know if Green succeeded, but we do know that she tends to the eggs the most, as she was a mother before.
There are currently just a dozen eggs in here. The thing is, Tango, the alpha of the pack, is trying to expand the pack as much as possible, like every raptor pack. So far, they have been one of the most well-known and very powerful packs on the entire island, and probably will be for a while. But then, a stick snaps. Something's coming. Infrared has just walked out of the bushes. He's a wanderer and has accidentally stumbled on the pack. The entire pack immediately notices, including some of the juveniles launch at him. They're getting ready to attack. Infrared is also getting ready, but he doesn't really have any interest of attacking them. But as for an act of self-defense, he bites by Orange's neck and kicks him aside. Infrared throws him back. The rest of the pack are stunned by this, but that's when Infrared takes down Tango. Soon enough, Blue decides to go for his jump and manages to scratch at the Giga, but the Giga still overpower him, bites down on the leg, and he knocks it into the gray. Soon enough, Swamp and Green are the only ones left defending. They gotta make sure the eggs are not at harm. But that's when Infrared stops and decides to slowly back away. He's done his deed and walks into the forest.
Blue makes sure the nest is okay. She looks at the eggs. They seem to be fine. No harm was lost.
But still, the rest of the raptors have suffered tremendous injuries. Tango's neck is broken, and Orange, most of his bones are broken as well. It leaves these raptors unable to hunt. Soon enough, it's only Swamp, Green, and Blue are the only people, or only dinosaurs that are able to hunt.
But these are also 3 fully grown Utahraptors. They're easily capable of taking down prey.
But still, there are many dangers in the Isle that they be presented with. But as long as they can, they must protect the pack. Blue becomes the official alpha. He'll now lead the pack until Tango is able to recover. Blue takes on the responsibility.
Here is Toxin and his mate Poison. They seem to be in a herd of many diverse animals, like Gallimimus, Pachycephalosaurus, and Pachyrhinosaurus.
This is Toxin just founded his own herd. Usually these are just dinosaurs that have just roamed on with the herd somehow. But there's something else that Toxin and Poison are trying to do. They're trying to mate. They've tried several times, but it still has become unsuccessful. But they will still try as much as they can. Usually, most of the herd is made of mates, such as these two Gallimimus pairs and these 2 Pachyrhinos. There's also a lone Stegosaurus that also roams with the herd, usually mostly for food.
He was actually a part of Toxin's old herd, but after this giant split up between the bull and them, he and Toxin's mate Poison have been founded their own herd.
So far, the herd is extremely small, which leaves them vulnerable. But luckily, a Pachycephalosaurus has also joined the herd a while ago, and usually he's the one who protects the most of the herd. Usually, it looks like there is more protecting to be done.
But then, something runs out of the bushes.
two stegosaurs, one of them little green and another stegosaur, have stumbled upon the herd. If you might remember, Little Green was actually Toxin's former herd member and has somehow found his way back into the herd. This is a good news for Toxin, as now he can expand the herd and possibly create more and have more mating groups. But for now, the stegosaurs continue grazing and the other herbivores.
On another part of the aisle, something comes into view. Claw, the Therizinosaurus. He hasn't been in the series for a while yet, but now he has returned. But his return isn't welcomed by many, as the carnivorous dinosaur Three Claw, the Megalosaurus, decides he is going to strike. He moves in, he jumps, leaps, bites down on Claw's throat, killing Claw instantly. He starts eating Claw, and eventually there's nothing left. He runs off in search of more food.
Here we have Scuttle and Dime. Scuttle and Dime have been living in the plains for a while, and have just started migrating for autumn. They're scouting out, looking at the biomes ahead. Usually Scuttle and Dime tend to stay in a cave where they spend most of the summer. But in August, things can get extremely dangerous as carnivores start to get desperate. And usually some carnivores on the island, even some mammals, even try to kill them. So they keep moving. Something slowly walks through the grass. Recovering from his injuries, Hunter walks around.
He's grown up a lot since the last time we saw him. He's taken on more of his father's colors.
Hunter has been alone for a really long time, but somehow he actually managed to survive. Hunter mostly walks in silence and usually hides in small ditches and caves. But even if he does meet carnivores, he's not really that big of an enticing meal. He's just too small.
The Eustreptospondylus notices him and runs towards him.
The Eustreptospondylus slowly walks towards Hunter.
Hunter is oblivious, though.
But right before the Eustreptospondylus can lunge, Kilo and Milo jump out. The Eustreptospondylus is starting to bleed, but that's when Milo makes a final bite. The Eustrepto has fallen. Hunter, but is oblivious though. He backs away, still not recognizing his parents. He thinks there's other carnivores like them. His parents slowly try to get towards him. Hunter still goes back. He doesn't trust whoever these are. He doesn't remember them. But Kilo goes and gives him a tiny touch. And finally, Hunter remembers his parents. He goes and cuddles up with them. It's been a very long time since they've seen each other. And finally, they're one big family. Nedry is also at the plains. The thing is, Nedry was back at the river canyon, where amongst the tall grass became a silent hunter. But this time, he's looking for a mate. But soon enough, he sees someone. A tiny Dilophosaurus, also female, walks up to him. She touches him on the head.
This Dilophosaur may look like the other Dilophosaur, Rex.
But this is actually a relative.
They share the same color pattern.
Soon enough, they immediately engage. This is the first time the Nedry has ever gotten a mate. But this one looks like someone he'll keep forever. Chocolate and White Chocolate are resting on some grass. White Chocolate had a very long day as they were walking for a long time. And Chocolate is looking over, keeping watch. Even if a herbivore walks by, they gotta keep caution. But Chocolate is hungry.
He notices something in the distance.
He decides to let White Chocolate sleep, and goes over to hunt. A Minmi is in the grass. These tiny ankylosaurids are extremely small, making an advantage for many smaller carnivores. Chocolate slowly walks, not to startle it. But until he does it, the Minmi notices and gives him a whack on the head. Chocolate gets knocked back, getting a very, very large bruise. But before the Minmi can react, White Chocolate comes over and they both bite on the Minmi at the same time. Now that the Minmi was overturned, they quickly eat and munch on the Minmi, and soon enough, it's dead in just a couple seconds. They decide to eat it all, as they haven't eaten in a very long time. Soon enough, there's nothing left on the Minmi but just some bones. Bull scans over his kingdom, but there's a problem. The big one comes in, and so does Infrared. The three carnivores look on each other. They each know that they are not happy to be in each other's territory, and soon enough, battle begins. Bull gets knocked down, but he managed to get back up. Soon, Infrared and Bull continue fighting. Bull's down, but Bull gets up, and Infrared gives him a knockback. But then, Big One joins the battle and knocks both of them back. Soon, it's just Bull and the Big One. Bull knocks him back, but the Big One gets him by the neck and knocks him down. He doesn't let go, but before the Big One can eat, the Infrared knocks him back. And soon, while Bull and Infrared fight, it looks like Infrared's getting overpowered. And soon enough, with too many injuries, Infrared decides to walk away. But still, the battle is not over. Still, two big carnivores remain. Both carnivores are injured from the battle. But Big One gets knocked down. He starts to get extremely weak. And Bull knocks him down. Big One is in his last dying breath. Soon Bull starts to bite down on his neck, harder and harder and harder. But then, at the last minute's notice, Big One dies. And Bull proclaims once again that he's king.